the arena to boost our knowledge and expertise and an opportunity to dive into in-depthness of practical work scenario. SEBI clarified with respect to RPT between holding and its wholly owned subsidiary are exempt from approval.
Hello and welcome. I am Deepak Bhatt from Test Digital. I would like to warmly welcome CS Rahul. We are delighted to have him with us and look forward to a meaningful conversation on a very hot topic, which is related party transaction. So, Rahul, the first question to you is lots of our professional colleagues find themselves in difficulty when the matter pertains to a related party transactions and handling the things thereof. What are your views on this?
See, Deepak, personally, I don't find it much difficult. In fact, it's the arena to boost our knowledge and expertise and an opportunity to dive into in-depthness of practical work scenario.
Okay, that's really great to hear. Moving ahead, if we need to understand the legal framework which governs the RPT in the entire India, what shall be our prime focus then?
To get the real picture of RPT, we need to thoroughly check Section 188 of Companies Act 2023, Rule 15 Companies Meeting of the Board and its rules, and Section 2, Clause 76 and 2, Clause 77 of the Companies Act 2013, which talk about related party transaction and their relative. And Regulation 23 of SEBI listing obligation and disclosure requirement 2015 with time to time amendments.
Okay,
Yeah.
talking about amendments, Rahul, can you please share with us some of the latest amendment with respect to related party transaction in the recent time?
Yes. Recently, SEBI came up with the amendment on 24th November 2025, which made like 4 to 5 changes, which I will be discussing now. So the first changes is in Regulation 2 ZC first provision clause E. So prior to amendment, that clause E was read as a retail purchase from any listed entity or its subsidiary by its director or its employee without establishing a business relationship and at terms which are uniformly applicable offered to all employee and director. Now, after amendment, it read as a retail purchase from any listed entity or its subsidiary by the director or key managerial personnel of the listed entity or its subsidiary and relatives of such directors or key managerial person without establishing a business relationship and at the terms which are uniformly applicable and offered to all employee directors, key managerial personnel and relative of directors and key managerial personnels. So the rationales for this amendment was to expand the scope of exemptions to include a retail purchase from KMP and the relative of the listed entity or its subsidiary, as well as reducing interpretational disputes and ensuring consistency application of exemptions. Further, if I talk about limit of materiality, prior to the amendment, the limit of materiality was 1,000 crore or 10% of annual consolidated turnover of the listed company, whichever is lower. So now, after this amendment, to determine the limit of material transaction, like they have kept one limit flat 1,000 crore threshold with the turnover based slab to address disappropriational compliance burden on large listed entities and ensure materiality in relative to size. Further, if I talk about need of audit committee approval, so prior to amendment, audit committee approval required where RPT exceed 10% of annual standalone turnover of the subsidiary. Now after amendment, like RPT where a listed company is not party but aggregate value is less than 1 CR is exempt from audit committee approval, which ensure only significant subsidiary level RPT require listed holding entity audit committee approval. After amendment, the approval requirement aligned with the size and materiality. Further, SEBI clarified with respect to RPT between holding and its wholly owned subsidiary are exempt from approval. So now they have inserted, like they have clarified, like holding company means it should be a listed holding company, which remove the ambiguity and ensure uniform interpretation. And these all amendments are effective from 19th December 2025.
Hmm. Okay, so that was really exhaustive coverage on the amendments, although it was short but very meaningful. So thank you so much for putting light on the recent amendments by SEBI on the related party transaction. It was a great insight from your side, CS Rahul. Thank you for being the part of our knowledge sharing session. Thanks a lot.